Take a look at this Predator Max Performance. It's the new 10% more output Predator, 6.6 horsepower. Got a 224cc overhead valve internal combustion engine in that box. Let's take a peek at it and show you how to set it up the right way. Inside the box, instruction manual, also some carburetor jetting for altitudes without attitudes. There we go. Let's get it out of the box, get some oil in it, get this thing fired up. I'm going to do some comparisons on the older version, which they still sell as a 212cc 6.5. A couple things I like to do before you fire up any new little small engine. Something like this. I don't know why they don't do it from the factory, but they torque these plugs down pretty tight, which they don't need to be that tight. I broke this one loose because sometimes it's pretty difficult to get them loose. So just get yourself a little spark plug socket, break it loose, and I like to get a 3/8 fuel line. It just aids in the ability to remove this plug, which is a really nice trick for a lot of tight situations like this one. Then you can kind of reach in there, grab your plug. And this is a, I don't know if you can see that, LG F7TC, which is probably a fine spark plug. But before I like to fire anything up like this, because it's been sitting for who knows how long on a ship somewhere, let's take a little Marvel Mystery Oil. And just a couple little squirts down there. Okay, maybe 3, tablespoon or so. Get it down in there. A little top cylinder lubrication. Crank it over a little bit. Let that sit in there until we get the fuel and the oil. Probably the most important thing is the oil. So once you get the plug out, what you're going to do is put some anti-seize on it. Just want to put a little bit on these threads. I already put a little bit on there. A little bit of anti-seize. It's going into an aluminum head. Doesn't take much. Size of a pea. Kind of smear it around on there. Good to go. Reinstall the plug. Don't get it too tight. It doesn't need to be rocket science tight. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of anti-seize on the spark plug threads. What we're going to do is put some oil in this guy. It takes about 18 ounces. I think it calls for 0.6 quarts or so. See what we can't do here. It's nice they include a nice funnel for this. Just something new. And get it up to about the dipstick. Pour a little bit in at a time. Once it's full, get down to about a little over half a quart, 18 ounces. Let's go a little bit at a time, check it. That looks to be about right. There's 16 ounces. We just want a little bit more. So, also, before you pour fuel in this thing, if you haven't already stabilized your fuel, get some Sta-Bil fuel stabilizer. Doesn't take much. Probably want to use the manufacturer's recommendations on this, but you know, a quarter of an ounce in this tank will last a long time. Fill this thing up, it's about a gallon capacity, I think 0.9. And then go ahead and we'll fuel it up. But always make sure you use Sta-Bil. I've used it for at least 30 years that I can remember. Just double check it real quick here and then make sure that we're getting at least halfway up on that dipstick. This engine does have the low oil shut off, so we're good to go. It's a little low oil shut off. If this engine runs out of oil, runs low on oil, it'll kill it until you put more oil in. Now we'll do some fuel. I use premium stabilized. Yeah, that's probably enough. One thing I noticed on this 6.6, nice click to that. Can't over torque it. Alright, we got fuel in it, we got the oil in it. That's how you turn the fuel on. There's a nice shut-off integrated into the carburetor there. There's a valve. And to choke it, you want to choke all the way over to the left. I like to give it a little bit of throttle. See what happens. Should start right up. That's on. smooth running little engine. So to kill it, turn it off. I like this switch better than the old one too. A little lever on it. Seems to like to have a little bit of choke on it when you restart it. It might be a little lean. So when you store these engines, you want to take and shut that fuel off. That'll suck the fuel out of the carburetor. Starting to run out. That's what it sounds like when it runs out of fuel. Always a good idea to run these out of fuel when you're going to park them for a while. It's easy enough. That's why they put that valve on there. Unless you're running avgas or something better. They do sell non-ethanol fuel. I know you can buy it at the pump up in Idaho. Not in California. So I use Sta-Bil. Pretty happy with that. I've stored fuel for over 5 years and it's been fine with Sta-Bil. Alright, plug your ears, turn down your speakers, take out the headphones. I'm just going to do a little quick sound test on these. The 212 versus the 224. The 212 has about an hour of break-in time, and the 224 has about 10 minutes. So both relatively new engines. And I'm going to fire one of them up, fire the other one up, and then I'll turn one off, and then I'll turn the other one off. The one over here, the 224, is a little bit deeper, throatier sounding, and the 212 over here is a little quieter, but it'll probably be hard to tell on these. So the fuel is on and the choke is on. I'll give them both a little bit of gas. To this guy. So that's that. I really like this little guy. And I really like that little guy. They're both very, very similar. I think for the money, I'm going to go with the newer one. A little bit more money. A little bit more power. Either way, they're both really nice engines. So this one's going to go on a generator. This one's going to go on my splitter. We'll do a video on that later. Go buy one.